everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs. Hope everybody's doing well today. I am here for my Mass Make Monday, and it's kind of a Stash Buster Sunday wrapped up into a Mass Make Monday. I kind of was going to do this on Sunday, but I ended up not having time. So we will be, working with getting rid of some of our stash, but it's also a mass make, so it's a twofer. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to be doing is I have a bunch of these little squares that this is what I ended up with in all different kinds, and I also have a bunch of scrap pieces that are kind of shabby, and then I also have vintage. But these are what we're going to start with. This is from when I'm making my boho journal. I ended up with these 3.5 by 3.5 squares, and I thought, well, gosh, what can I do with those, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to make a little corner tuck spot for these, and we're going to be using filigree metal and some magnets. So let's get started on that. Super easy stuff. Nothing complicated. And also, not just those scraps. I have a ton of scraps. Just whenever I make something, I have a little scrap box, and it's about the size of a shoebox. Well, it's just overflowing. I had these two, pink and just off-white, and then in my I divide them all up after a while so I can sift through them. And then I have all of these, and I'm going to try and use a lot of that with this. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to just be folding this in half. I'm going to go through the mechanics of this first, and then I'm going to decorate them all. So that's how I'm going to do it. So it's not complicated. You just want to make sure that you have a perfect square. It does not have to be this size. This is, as I said, it is 3.5 by 3.5, but it is a perfect square. I think this is a good size because when you do this, you want to be able to tuck something in it. You want it to be, let me see if I can find a tag. Here we go. So you want to be able to, when you put this on a page, it's going to go like this, or it could go like that. Okay. But you want to be able to put this in there, but you don't want it too big so it covers half. I mean, you could make it bigger. I wouldn't make it smaller. The whole idea is to do that, and then you're going to be able to open it up and write in here. It'll be a secret writing spot, but it'll stay shut because you have a magnet. Okay, so what I want to do first is I want to fold these in half, and we're just going to do a few of these that go in the Gypsy Journal first. And I'm not doing a perfect job folding them, but you want to try to do the best you can as far as getting them in half, because that is the name of the game here. And I find the best way to do it is to go straight with the corner and go to that corner, and that will line it up. Use your bone folder. And this paper is not overly heavy, so that's something you might want to think about, because I am going to be using a very, very small magnet. Here, I'll show you. What did I do with it? Okay, so these magnets are really small, and if I can find the link, I'll put them in there. I couldn't really tell you. I think they're, gosh, they're probably like 1/8 of an inch, but they're super small, and that they're all stacked together because they're stuck together. But I'll show you one individually if I can get it off of there. Okay, so that is how small the magnet is there. Okay, guys. There are bigger magnets that you can use. So if you're going to use thicker paper, you could definitely put a bigger magnet on it, but I didn't really want to do that. So that's the size. And we're going to be using little filigree pieces like this that I bought mine on Amazon, but you can get them all over the place. In fact, I have many different colors and different kinds, but I'm mainly going to be using these pieces in different colors. Okay. I have other pieces, and you could certainly use those pieces on this too. And I have another video where I did that, and I will link it in the description box if you're interested in that, where I made other things too. But we're going to keep it simple because we're mass making. And I am going to fold that in half. Now this is dark, but you could still, I think you could still write on this. So I think that'll work. And I have that. All right, so I have those. Now I also want to do, I have a few other things here. And this is out of my scrap box. See, that's why I told you this is kind of a twofer. It's a use your scraps, and I don't know how many of these I'll get to do, but let's do those. I wonder if that would work. It might work. And I just want to, if I can, get a few things done that are a little different. Okay, I think I have it over here. Here we go. And here is a Tim Holtz paper. So I'm going to be doing all of these too. So in order to do those, I have to cut those down. And this has little holes taken out of it, so I have to kind of cut around it. And this is just I don't know, a digital paper that I have from somewhere. I don't even know where I got it. So long ago. All right. So I'm going to end up with 2 of these. Slice that. Oop, that must not have been very straight. All right. So we're going to go, we're going to make them the same size, I think would be good. We're going to go, well, you know what? Let's do them different. Let's do them a little different. Let's do these 4x4, okay? That way they're different, so we don't make them all the same. So you can see what a bigger size would look like. And so we're going to have these 2 to do. Save those because I love those papers. I've got this one. We'll make it 4x4 also. So we've got 3.5 by 3.5 and 4x4. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is just some other paper, scrapbook paper that I have. It's a little bit thicker, but I think it'll work. It's not too thick. At least I don't think it is. If it is, I have bigger magnets, but I think this will work. But I'm not folding it very well, so. And that's because it's harder to fold. Let me do this here. So anyway, this is great for when you have, you know, smaller scraps that you need to get rid of. And it will serve the purpose of making, I guess we'll go this way with these. Yeah, okay. All right, and of course you could use paper too. You want it, you know, strong enough to be like a pocket, but at the same time, you don't want it too thick. So let's do that. Now this is thinner here, but I think it's thick enough that it will work. Okay, now that we have all of these folded, we're going to go into the mechanics of making these, and I will just start with this one. So we have our square, we folded it in half, and what we're using is this filigree stuff, and you don't have to, you could use like a, you could use one like that. You don't necessarily, in fact, we might do that later, but for the most part, I'm using these because I have a ton. And let's try that one. And I'm using 3 things. I'm using my 3-in-1 glue. You want to use a good glue. I don't know. I personally like the 3-in-1 for this, but I don't know. It seems to hold really well. I've done other things with it too, so that's probably what I would use. And I'm going to also be using glue dots, or in my case it's a glue square, and that's for the magnet, because you want something strong for the magnet that's going to hold, and I find that the glue dots work the best. And I'm also using some 1/4 inch double-sided tape, and you can definitely use glue for this. You don't have to have that, but I have it, and I thought, well, I'm going to just use it. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and first put this down, and I just take, I don't put a ton of glue, but I make sure I have enough glue that it's in contact with, you know, the major pieces of this, and then I just kind of put it on a corner like that and push it down. Make sure it's making good contact. You want to line it up. Okay, and then I just take a wipe and get the extra glue off. And my 3-in-1 glue or fabric tack or whatever works really well. It'll slide a little bit, but when it dries, it's on there good. Now, if you have clips, I do somewhere. I don't know where I put them. I move stuff around in my craft room, and now I can't find anything. You can take your clips and then just put them like this, and that might be the best thing to do on these. Let's take a few of them out. Okay, this has silver, so maybe I'll use silver. I'll use some silver. Okay, and then this one has a really pretty, do I want to put gold on that? I think gold would look pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and do these and let them dry a little bit, and then go through all of them. I think that's, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can do it on there, or, you know, or do it on your paper. I don't know that it really matters which way you do it. So let's start with the ones on the bottom because I'm sure they're dry. So the next thing we're going to do with these is we are going to go ahead and put our magnet on. We're going to do the mechanics of it first. So I am going to take a glue dot, and actually I have glue squares, and you can use glue on this, but I find these work better. And do you see where this little thing is? That's kind of where I want to put it, but I want to put it on the back so you can't see it. So it's going to go right about here, right here. So I am going to take this and go, and these are a little bit big, but that's okay. It's not going to matter in the end. And the way this works is you just press down and then they come off, or they should come off. There we go. That one came off right there. Don't need it there. Now it's sticking to my fingernail. They're very, very sticky, and that's why I'm using them, because they work really well on the magnet with the magnets. So you definitely can use glue. I've done that, but I don't know that it works as well as this. So okay, so there is two sides on your magnet. You want to make sure you're on the side that will stick, okay, which obviously that is, okay. And the big thing now is I've got to separate them, which is not always easy. I just take a pin and start to break them apart, and that's how I get that on there. So that magnet is going to hold this shut, okay, when it's on your page. So what we're going to do now is we are going to cover that magnet up. So because we do not want that magnet or that glue right there to interfere with our little tuck spot. So I'm just taking a piece of scrap paper. This is just some regular old scrap paper, and I'm going to make sure I cover all that glue up that's remaining on that magnet, just like that. It doesn't matter what it looks like, you're not going to see that, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my double-sided tape going up and down this side, because that is what is going to be attached to my page. And I'm just using my fingernail. You can cut it, it doesn't matter because nobody's going to see it. And that is going to be what goes on my page. So basically, when you have your page, see, this no longer is sticky, but you're going to take that off, and that's sticky, so that will go like this, okay, and it'll allow you to have a tuck spot in here, okay, because all of this inside is open, all right, and you'll have a tuck spot right there. But at the same time, when this opens up, because this is all stuck to your page, this back part, you will have all this writing space in here, but your magnet keeps it shut, okay? And I decorate these up a little bit. You don't have to, but that is the mechanics of it. And the way that I want to do this is I am going to just take these little clips off, and I'm going to do the magnet first on all of these. Like I said, make sure you get the right side of the magnet. Let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and separate a few so that I have them ready to go, because they really are hard to separate. Let me put my glue down. And these little glue things, let me tell you, they are very strong. So I am going to put that. Again, you don't want to go higher than this right here or it won't work. It's okay if you go lower. So I'm just doing that. And that is going to get me, oh, my glue dot's a little bit low, but it's not going to matter because we're covering it anyway. All right, so then, let's see. Okay, so that is the sticky side, so we're going to put that down. All right, and then we're just going to take our little piece of paper and make sure you cover all of it up. It's okay if you have extra, it's not going to matter because we're going to go ahead and we can cut that off. You don't want to flap because you don't want it to get stuck in there. And then we take our, now you could not put the double-sided tape on and glue those later. It's up to you. You know, totally up to you. Not a problem to glue paper to paper. But you just want to make sure you have something strong holding that magnet down. I don't like the double-sided tape unless it's like the red line tape, and then that holds it pretty well. The glue dots work pretty good, and you can use glue, but I find that it doesn't work as well. Anyway, so that's that one. So I'm going to go ahead and do a few more of these. Alright guys, so what we've done is we've gone ahead and did all the mechanics of this. So these are ready to decorate. They are going to go on our journals. And I am going to go ahead and decorate all of these. But you could leave them like that and then decorate them later. The one thing too is if you do have some of this sticking up right here, and definitely you want to make sure you cover all the glue. Like this has a little bit on the side here, so we want to make sure that we have all the glue covered up, because we don't want, you don't want this portion sticking down or you'll have nowhere to put your tag. But if you want to make sure that there's nothing that's going to catch, you could certainly put more glue down and get your paper to go down. But I think this usually, these magnets are thin enough and everything, it usually works pretty good. So anyway, I think that's all. Like, see, this has a little bit sticking up right there. You could just take your glue, and there I would probably just use my art glitter glue, because you're just really putting paper to paper. And then just glue that down. Like here you've got a little bit. You just don't want your tag or whatever to get stuck. Like here you've got a little bit here. Just take your glue and do that, and that'll make it all go down. Like you have some up here. I just don't really trust my art glitter glue or even my 3-in-1 to keep the magnet down really well. Once you put it on the page, it's obviously not going anywhere, but you can just decide. And I actually think the glue dots are easier to use. You don't have to wait for them to dry. But anyway, that's what I do. And it doesn't matter how ugly it looks in the back, because all of that's going to be on the page. So anyway, that's what I would do. And then the next thing is, the fun part is the decorating. So let's just move these over here so I can do those. They're all sticking to each other because they all have a magnet in them. And we'll put these over here. That way I have kind of like kinds together. Alright, so let's do this one maybe. And let's see, I don't know if that would work. We'll see. I have a whole bunch of stuff over here. This might be pretty. Might be pretty. I'm going to try not to spend too much time doing this, because I know that it will take forever. Okay, let me try that. I'm going to go pretty quick. Okay, so I'm done with these. I went ahead and sewed on these. You definitely do not have to. If you do, it will leave a line, you know, but I think I don't mind it. If you wanted to sew and not have the line, you could sew your trim or whatever and then just glue it on. But anyway, and I added a little extra eyelash trim to a couple of these, I think. I think just the 2 of these. And then here they all are. So they're very practical and you get to use your scraps. I had 3.5 inch and then 4 inch, and then here's an extra one that I did. So they just go on your page just like that. You're going to glue here and here. If you've already done the tape, you just, you know, take that other part of the tape off. That's probably a little bit too long. And put that on. So you're going to glue it here and here where you have the tape, and that will go down. You'll have all this section in here that you can put your tag, right? And then when you open it up, oops, this is glued down. It will have all this area here to write on, okay? So that is it. A great way to use your scraps. I think they look cool. You could definitely do it on the other side too. You don't have to do it just on that side. So anyways, guys, that is what I have for today. And I have a Tim Holtz Tuesday coming out tomorrow. And then I believe I have a Thrifty Thursday. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the rest of the week. So I'll see you soon. Take care.